So I promised myself when doing this video that I wouldn't go off script too much just because it's easy to go off script when it comes to speaking about the greatness of Stevie Wonder and the greatness of Prince. Shout out to two people that are the motivation for me doing this video. Shout out to the Triborough Gigolo from the That Ain't Rap podcast. And shout out to TB, who's in the Atlanta area somewhere. So I'll start this and I promise to try to stay on script as much as possible. But mind you, Stevie Wonder and Prince um, were anything but scripted. So when the conversation turns to the greatest soul or R&B artist of all time, two names rise above almost everyone: Stevie Wonder and Prince. It is almost impossible to discuss Black music, American music, or modern popular music without discussing those two giants. They were not just singers, they were architects of sound. They were visionaries who changed what artists could say, how artists could sound, and how Black creativity could be presented to the world. Their music crossed generations, races, cultures, and genres. Even now, decades after many of their greatest works were released, their records still feel alive. They still influence other artists. They still move crowds. They still speak to pain, joy, love, spirituality, politics, sexuality, and freedom. The debate between Stevie Wonder and Prince is fascinating because they represent two different kinds of genius. Stevie Wonder feels like the foundation. Prince feels like the revolution. Stevie Wonder's greatness begins with the unbelievable fact that he was a child prodigy who actually exceeded the hype. Signed to Motown as Little Stevie Wonder, he became one of the rare artists who evolved from child star into musical immortality. By the 1970s, Stevie created one of the greatest music runs in history. Albums like Talking Book, Inner Visions, fulfilling this first finale. And according to TB from the Atlanta area, Songs in the Key of Life were not just successful records, they were cultural statements. Stevie Wonder made music that felt human in every direction. He could create joy with songs like Sir Duke. He could create romance with Ribbon in the Sky. And I'm trying to stay on script here, everybody. He could create social commentary with Living for the City. He could create spiritual reflection with As. He could create pain and beauty at the same time with Lately. His catalog became a soundtrack for Black life itself. What made Stevie different was his ability to combine musical complexity with emotional accessibility. He was a master musician who understood melody at a level few humans ever have. He played multiple instruments, pioneered synthesizer use in soul music. And pushed studio technology forward in ways that changed R&B forever. Yet none of that genius felt cold or over technical. His music still felt warm. It still felt like church, family cookouts, first love, heartbreak, and probably most importantly, hope. Stevie's music also carried moral weight. During the 1970s, Black America was navigating the aftermath of the civil rights movement, economic struggle, political distrust, and urban hardship. Stevie Wonder became one of the voices who reflected those realities without losing optimism. His campaign to make Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday showed that he was not just an entertainer. He understood the power of celebrity and music in shaping society. There's a reason so many musicians speak about Stevie Wonder almost reverently. His songwriting feels timeless because it speaks to universal emotions. You could play Stevie Wonder for someone who was born in 1955 or 2005, and both can connect immediately. Then there is Prince. And I'm going to try to stay on script because y'all know how I feel about Prince, right? So Prince did not just enter music, he exploded into it. Where Stevie Wonder often represented warmth and emotional depth, Prince represented total artistic freedom. Prince challenged every rule about genre, image, masculinity, sexuality, race, and performance. He blended funk, rock, soul, gospel, pop, jazz, and new wave into something that belonged entirely to him. There has never been an artist quite like Prince. Albums like 1999, my personal favorite, Purple Rain, Sign of the Times, Dirty Mind, transformed popular music. Prince was fearless. He could give you vulnerability one moment and explosive confidence the next. He could write songs that sounded deeply spiritual while also sounding intensely sensual. He could perform with the fury of a rock star while maintaining the groove of a funk musician and the vocal emotion of a soul singer. Prince's musicianship was almost mythical. And for the most part, when you guys hear me talk about Prince, y'all know how I feel like Prince is mythic in a sense, and how he takes his thoughts, places them over every aspect of music, combines it together for 4 minutes of some of the greatest things you've ever heard in your life. Like Stevie, he played multiple instruments, but Prince approached music with a relentless intensity that bordered on obsession. And we love that about Prince. Stories of him recording entire albums by himself became legendary. He could outplay seasoned musicians on guitar, piano, bass, and drums. Ask Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They tell these stories all the time. Many casual listeners underestimate how elite Prince was as a guitarist because his songwriting and singing overshadowed his technical brilliance. But Prince's biggest impact may have been artistic ownership. He fought openly against the music industry's control over artists. When he changed his name into an unpronounceable symbol during his dispute with Warner Brothers, many people mocked him at the time. Years later, though, artists began realizing he was ahead of his era. Prince understood that creative freedom and ownership mattered. In many ways, he predicted conversations today about masters and publishing and artist independence. He did that in the 90s. Culturally, Prince represented liberation. He gave Black artists permission to be unconventional. He shattered expectations about what a Black male artist could look like or sound like. He made vulnerability masculine. He made, what's the word I'm looking for? He made being eccentric cool, except for some of those blouses he wore. They were kind of questionable, but that was his thing. And then there's his timelessness. That may be the strongest argument for both men. Stevie Wonder songs still sound alive because of the emotions are eternal. Love, struggle, joy, faith, heartbreak, hope, everything. They never expire. Prince songs still sound modern because they were often ahead of their time, sonically and emotionally. Younger artists still borrow from both men constantly, whether knowingly or unknowingly. You can hear Stevie Wonder's DNA in neo soul, gospel, jazz fusion, modern R&B. You can hear Prince's DNA in alternative R&B, pop experimentation, artist-driven music culture. Artists like Beyonce, D'Angelo, Bruno Mars, Frank Ocean, The Weeknd, and countless others carry a piece of both Stevie and Prince in their music. The truth is, comparing Stevie Wonder and Prince almost comes down to deciding what kind of genius speaks to you as a listener. Which do you prefer more? If you value emotional universality, social consciousness, melodic mastery, warmth, you may lean towards Stevie Wonder. If you value fearless originality, genre bending experimentation, performance intensity, artistic rebellion, you may lean towards Prince. But maybe the real answer is that Black music is fortunate enough to have both. Stevie Wonder gave the culture healing, wisdom, and emotional truth. Prince gave the culture freedom, fearlessness, transformation. His lyrics spoke to your spirit. Stevie Wonder's lyrics spoke to your spirit. Prince spoke to your spirit. One sounded like the soul of humanity, and the other sounded like what did Prince sound like? Prince sounded like the future, arriving early. Prince sounded like your inner voice speaking to the immature you about maturity. And decades later, both still matter. Their music still fills arenas, weddings and cookouts and clubs and movies and churches and headphones and cars and work functions and whatever. And we still enjoy it. Older generations still cherish them. Their songs continue to survive because true artistry doesn't age. That's what separates legends from icons. Icons dominate moments, legends transcend time. And Stevie Wonder and Prince transcend time. Everybody, again, I'm your number one Chief Rocker, Uncle Freezie. You're watching Echo and Essence. Thank you for listening to me pour out my inner vision, so to speak, about Stevie Wonder and talk about Prince as if he's otherworldly. If you enjoy topics like this and videos like this and conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to Echo and Essence. This is your place for videos like this, for live streams, for everything culture, relationships, romantic relationships, culture, movies, music, fashion, and everything in between. Thank you for listening. Peace, y'all.